What's going on, YouTube? Today I've got the full review of the 2017 Samsung Galaxy A5. Now, first off, I want to go over some of the main design cues of this phone. So it's an all glass and metal build, and it's looking pretty nice. So we got it's all glass on the back. We got the metal frame all around it. You can see the antenna bands in between. So that's a nice added feature. And it's got glass on the front as well. So one thing to note, this phone does have a headphone jack, and it's also rocking USB Type-C. You got a mic on the bottom there, and you got another mic on the top right there. And then right here is your micro SD card slot for expanding your memory. And here's your nano SIM tray slot. So that's nice. Now, one thing I want to note that I'm really impressed with is the speaker placement. The speaker grill is placed on the side of this phone. So when you're using the phone in landscape, playing games, you're not covering it up like you always used to on the bottom of the phone. So that is a nice feature that Samsung has added to their A series lineup. Now next, what I want to point out is there's no camera hump. The camera is actually indented a little bit into the back of the phone. So when you set it down, it's never touching what you set it down on. So same with the flash, it's indented a little bit. So that's really sweet. I'm glad Samsung did that. Now, also I want to note that the home button is now flush with the chassis. It's a little bit indented actually for the fingerprint scanner. And as well as the speaker grill is also flush with the chassis. So that's a nice addition. Everything is flush on this phone, and it's just a really smooth, put together phone. Now, the buttons are nice and clicky. So they got a nice click to them. They're nice and solid feeling. So that's always a bonus. And then, what else do we got here? So let's go over some specs real quick. So whereas it's a full review video, I like to go over all the specs. So it's got a 1.9 gigahertz octa-core Exynos 7880 processor, a Mali T830 GPU. It's got a 5.2 inch 16 by 9 Super AMOLED display, 1920 by 1080 full HD panel. So it's got a really nice vibrant panel. I'm really impressed with the colors on this, and it's actually pretty color accurate for being a mid-tier budget phone. So it's got 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gig ROM, and micro SD card expansion like I said earlier. So that's that slot right on the top there. It's got 16 megapixels on both the front and the rear camera. So they're both pretty nice shooters, and I've shot a few pictures with this. I will wind up doing a camera comparison video between this and the Galaxy S7 Edge. So if you're interested in that, stay posted to my channel. Make sure you click the little notification bell where you subscribe at, so you always get the latest and greatest of what's going on my channel. So this is rocking 6.0.1 Marshmallow. It hasn't been updated to the Nougat Squad yet. So we got a 3000 milliamp hour battery, and so overall it's pretty spec worthy. And like I said in my 48-hour impression video, this thing gets crazy good battery life. So I'm usually rocking my phones on auto brightness, and they usually stay around 50, 60, 70% brightness. So with this phone, playing games, browsing the internet, doing stuff like that, I got 10 hours of screen on time consistently. And that's pretty wild for this phone. But it is a power sipping processor, and it's only rocking a full HD display, so it's kind of understandable. It's a big battery for what this package is pushing out. Alright, so we'll go over a few things on the software here. Firstly, I want to show you guys the fingerprint sensor. So basically, what they've done this year is you don't have to push the button anymore. You just set your finger on it. See how fast that was? Boom. Boom. So yeah, I just barely set my finger on it and it goes. So that's pretty impressive. I'm very impressed with that. So we'll go in here, turn down the brightness a little bit so it shows up nice on the video. Alright, looking nice. Okay, so yeah, amazing fingerprint scanner. We'll go over that one more time for you guys. It's just crazy good. Alright, so we're rocking the Grace UX here, which is nice. It makes it feel like it's running on Nougat, but it's actually not. So that's one thing that's pretty sweet about this whole package. We got the always on display, as you guys saw before. So it does have what the high-end phones had. As of last year, this only came on high-end phones. So they're starting to bring it to the mid-tier budget category of phones, and that's really nice. I'm glad Samsung's doing that for us. They're kind of stepping up the game on the budget category. Same with the build quality of this phone. So that's pretty awesome. It is rocking secure folder, so you got all your private stuff. You can hide it in the secure folder. So that's pretty sweet. And what else we got? We got game launcher and game tools on this version of the Galaxy A5. So we're looking at see, we got our game tools down there, and it's a game launcher, so you can record your gameplay, and it's actually a really nice feature. So I'm really liking that so far. I've been playing a lot of heavy-duty games on this, and it seems to run pretty well. There's a few drop frames here and there, but overall it's not too shabby of performance for the price point that this phone is in. Now, we do have scroll capture. So we'll open up Chrome here, and I was looking at some Sony websites earlier, checking out the new Sony Xperia XZ Premium, and it's looking pretty nice. I might get my hands on one of those. Let me know down in the comments if you guys want to see that. But here, we'll just look at the Z5 Premium to start with. So this is the Xperia Z5 Premium website. Swipe to capture. And then you just hit scroll capture, and it just starts scrolling. Gives you a little preview here of what it's taken. So this was something we also only saw on high-end phones up until this year. This was something that came out on the Note series, and then it came to the S7 and S7 Edge, and now we're seeing it in the mid-tier budget category, which is nice. So that's scroll capture on this phone. And we do have in our camera, we've got the floating shutter button. So if we switch our cameras here, you can see we got the floating shutter button. So you can put that anywhere you want, make it easier to get to, right? Or you can just use your regular shutter button. But this is something that we were only seeing in the Galaxy S8 until this phone came out. And this phone actually came out before the Galaxy S8, so it was kind of a feature preview for the Galaxy S8, which is pretty sweet. And next we go into our settings menu, and you can see we have this condensed settings menu that is common to Grace UX. So that's pretty nice. I'm glad they gave us this, but I'm really liking the way that Samsung's doing their settings menus these days. It's actually a pretty sweet setup. So everything's more condensed, everything's together, and we'll go into advanced features here. So you got your smart stay, you got your games options, one-handed operation. So it's a 5.2-inch phone, but they still included one-handed operation. So you got to be rocking some pretty small hands to be using one-handed operation on this. Quick launch camera, palm swipe to capture, direct call, smart alert. You know, all the typical high-end flagship stuff is here. The only thing that I really found that's missing is there's no notification light, and you can't set up haptic feedback for these navigation buttons. So overall, I'm extremely impressed. I would recommend this phone to anybody that wanted to know about it or they wanted to get themselves into a new phone. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Watch out for my full camera comparison between this and the Galaxy S7 Edge, and I'll be adding this phone to the line of the benchmark battles. So stay posted to the mini series of benchmark battles, and we will catch you on the next one.